money.
That's what I always say. You always follow the money.
Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard on VSiN.
Here we go. Welcome in. It is Follow the Money on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Mitch Moss, Pauly Howard with you live in downtown Las Vegas from the Circa Resort and Casino with you for the next 3 hours. Loaded program today. JP Finlay on the program in 30 minutes from 106.7 The Fan in Washington, D.C. We'll go over their game plan against the Cowboys this Sunday. Arash Markazi on the Chargers and the Rams in a couple of hours. And VSiN host Mike Somich, he's going to empty the Gatling gun today. He's got like 1,000 bets that he likes for Week 18, Pauly.
Yeah,
it's here.
He was great last week.
Does it make you a little bit sad?
Oh, yeah.
Every year? I mean, I will tell you that around 4 o'clock or 4:30 p.m. Pacific time on Sunday, I get a little bit sad every year.
Yep.
Right? The NFL's not perfect, but man, oh man, when the regular season goes bye-bye, it kind of stinks.
Yep.
Can't lie.
When Scott Hansen signs off for the last time and no more even Thursday night football, which I love, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough, and it's not a good day, no doubt. So hopefully we can have it a profitable Sunday for the final time here.
Okay, so we will try to make sense of all the Week 18 numbers and the matchups. And as we get closer to kickoff on Sunday now, still 2 days away, more teams are announcing, some of the players anyway, who might be playing or flipping that, guys who will not be playing in their games on Sunday. We will get a rundown of player props based on the very popular incentives that you have no doubt probably heard of so far this week on social media and why sportsbooks have juiced the numbers like they have. They're not going to make it easy on you. They're going to make you pay a severe tax/premium this week, as always is the case, but these have become a bigger talking point than ever before. And I will remind people of this again. It's easy to sit there and just go, for public bettors, well, Chiefs aren't playing anybody. They're going to get blown up by the Broncos, right? Derek Carr's not playing. Tampa Bay has to have the game. Buccaneers are going to blow out the Saints. Could go on and on. The Rams aren't going to play anybody. Well, the Seahawks really don't have anything to play for other than Geno Smith incentives. Eliminated teams playing teams that need to win over the final 2 weeks since 1990. 105, 69, and 4 ATS. It's 34 years, the sample size. Almost 200 games. 105, 69, and 4 ATS on eliminated teams. Playing teams that need to win over the final 2 weeks. For Week 18, again, that would be Saints at Buccaneers, Panthers at the Falcons, Jets at the Dolphins.
Mm-hmm. Some of these unique situations with so many guys out with New Orleans and Carolina.
Right.
Also, I do like the Jets, and we're going to go out with a bang. I like the Jets as well. But one pro sports bettor sent me this. The M in must win stands for mediocre. And Andy Reid's squad has a proven track record of strong performances in the season finale, even when starters are sitting. Chiefs have a mini bye week off the Christmas Day game, and I don't care that the Chiefs are resting starters. This isn't the preseason where we're talking about 90-man rosters and guys who'll never see the NFL field. You got backups. It's a deep team. They have a good roster, and Andy Reid has been great in this spot in the season finale, 9-1 straight up going back, and despite being an underdog. And last year he won as a dog as well with nothing to play for. So maybe the Broncos are tight. It's a tough game. What are you going to do with Wentz? Will he be rusty? And the fact that, we will say Kansas City had problems moving the ball on him in the first meeting. And Denver should have got there. But Denver 7-0 ATS is favorites this year as well. That's a tough game, but both strong cases and points on both sides.
I'll expand on that. A quarterback not named Patrick Mahomes has started 4 games for the Chiefs since 2018. Kansas City is 2-2 straight up ATS in those games, and 3 of the 4 were decided by 1 score. Andy Reid has closed as a double-digit dog 5 times since 2007. Mm-hmm. Only 1-4 straight up, but where it matters most, 5-0 ATS.
Yep.
That's big. Other coaches who are great in this spot, Dan Campbell, Mike Tomlin, and Sean McDermott has been sneaky great in this situation. They are all 3-0 ATS in Week 18. And if you go back and include Week 17, because this Week 18 is still relatively new, so Week 17 and 18, last 10 years, Mike Tomlin 14-7 ATS, Dan Campbell 7-1, Brian Daboll's 5-0. Only his 3rd year as head coach for the Giants. Undefeated Week 17 and 18.
Very good.
Yep.
Are the Patriots going to do the right thing? You don't play May. You play a lot of Milton. Buffalo has enough to get the win and cover up to 3. Hold on to the number 1 pick. I don't care what the locker room says. Just it's Kraft, step in. Come on, do the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
Then sit back and relax and let the offers come in once you have the number 1 pick. Come on.
I will tell you this. Odds are moving all the time, especially for Week 18, where we are broadcasting from today at circa. The Bills have moved to -3, -120 in this game. So think about that for a second. When the news came out this week that the plan was for Mayo to start Drake May and they really wanted to win this game, it came off of 3. Now, not only is it back to 3, it's 20 cents, indicating that it could be on the move even more. And I just told you that McDermott is awesome in this spot. I'll tell you that if we get 1 quarter of Josh, they wanted him, by the way, to play, obviously, to keep the streak going of consecutive games started. If you get him for a quarter and then you give me Trubisky for at least a couple of quarters, I'm okay with that.
Okay.
I'm fine.
I would think so, yeah.
Mop-up duty, he's been fine.
Yeah.
So it's been a tricky year, though, overall. To remind people again, favorites in primetime games specifically, 45-12 straight up this year, 79%. And the Sunday night game, of course, Vikings playing at the Lions. This year in primetime, the Lions are 5-0. Detroit is 9-0 straight up as favorites in night games that are Dan Campbell, winning by almost 10 points per game. And Jared Goff is 7-0 ATS as versus the Vikings as the Detroit quarterback. Awesome numbers for him, and we saw more numbers come in on that today when Jared Goff has faced Brian Dable and the blitz. He is basically as good as any quarterback could possibly be. I think I saw something like 7-0. The numbers are like 70+% completion percentage and a ton of touchdowns and like no INTs. He has eviscerated the Vikings defense when they send the blitz at him.
14-16 for 160 and a touchdown in the first meeting.
That's incredible.
Yep. And as you said earlier in the week, a lot of respected guys, a lot of sharp guys and dog players are getting destroyed because it's been the year of the favorite, and it hasn't ended. The incredible number we gave out earlier, favorites of 6 points or more are 29-1 straight up since week 13. Favorites for the year are 72%. Favorites are 80% since week 13, 61-16. Favorites are 69% ATS since week 15. Home dogs, no bite. 43% on the season, worst since 05.
That's a killer for me.
Yeah, it's been an incredible season. And bookmakers, as you said, can't wait for it to end. How bad it's been. Chalk.
Yeah, what do you make of this? I was watching Money Moves earlier today with Stormy Bonatomi and Jeff Schwartz. By the way, Stormy did an awesome job on the Rose Bowl New Year's Day. And they had VSiN contributor Will Hill on. I thought Will had a good point. Like, which side do you like in the game on Saturday? Do you like the Steelers? Okay, if you like the Steelers, then why not do like a parlay with Pittsburgh with the points or on the money line along with the Raiders on Sunday? Right? Thinking that if the Steelers win, they're going to be locked into the 5 seed. However, Bengals are fighting for their playoff lives. If you like the Bengals to win that game outright or cover, then why not make it Bengals win, Chargers win? Because under that scenario, then the Chargers would get the 5 seed and leapfrog the Steelers, and the reward there would be to play the Texans in the first round of the playoffs.
Yep, not so fast, my friend. I mean, that's common sense. I would agree with you, but I don't know what Harbaugh's going to do.
I know.
Look at what McVay's doing. They're sitting everybody in a game that I think they have to have, because then you're going to look at Minnesota, Detroit, back-to-back games. I mean, you're going to get the Minnesota-Detroit loser then, and then you might going to play him again. So I don't like how McVay's handling this, and he's sitting everybody. Harbaugh's not giving it up. Well, 11 wins is better than 10. Thanks, buddy. So you would think if the Steelers lose, I win that game, I play Houston. Right. And I win, and then I get ready for maybe Kansas City, but certainly I have a much better chance to beat Houston than the Ravens, who I don't want to see.
I'll tell you what.
I'm sorry, but the thing is with Tomlin, it's the same thing with Ryans in Houston. I don't like how I'm playing. Mm-hmm. I want to look like a professional outfit and to get a little momentum here coming into the playoffs. They've lost 3 in a row, all by double digits. And, with Pickens back, you want to get these guys, get the offense going and stop turning the ball over. So I could see what but I also wouldn't be surprised if Tomlin, after it's 21-0, Baltimore, if he walks in and says, okay, a half, I'll give you a half. That's it. I'll just give you guys a half. We're not going to win the division.
Yeah. I will say this. I lived in the Bay Area for a couple of years going back when Jim Harbaugh was the head coach of the 49ers. And on the station that I worked for at the time, we would play his press conference live every single Monday. And I would always think of the song by Tool called Eulogy, because
what an album.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
Yes, what a song, what an album.
But that one specific lyric, he had a lot to say. He had a lot of nothing to say. That was Jim Harbaugh. And he would try to be goofy, and sometimes the sound bites would take off. You're like, yeah, that was pretty entertaining. But most times he would just talk in circles and say absolutely nothing. And you're like, okay, did you answer? Did you come close to answering the question at all? Like that one that you're pointing to today. Mm-hmm. What's the game plan, Jim?
Won't give it up. Money on the Raiders, too. Right.
Yeah.
And I mentioned this, I think I told you during the commercial break, but I think I mentioned it with Mike Paul Monday. Belichick on this very topic was unbelievable Monday about what you do. And he goes, if you sit the starters, it's kind of an insult to the other guys and the rest of the locker room and how they feel. But so it's hard to balance that and what you decide to do and who you play. But you certainly look like a bozo. Remember what Staley did. If you're playing guys out there with nothing to play for and you lose somebody like a Williams that year.
Yeah, no kidding.
And you don't have them for the playoff game, which actually happened to Belichick. Yep. Wes Welker tore his ACL in a meaningless game.
Yep. All right, follow the money here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Up next, sports books are well aware of incentives. They are making you pay a serious tax or a premium on player props this weekend, including this player's receiving yards, because they know everybody wants to bet it. I will tell you the player and his crazy high number this week. Next.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
You just knew that folks were going to do this weekend. Right, because of social media, people can never try to hide anything. They want clicks, they want retweets, they want whatever, shares on Instagram. They have to be first in the world sharing incentives, right? Rather than keep it to yourself and betting right away so you can get the best numbers available and then maybe putting it out. So based on that, stuff was coming out, I think I saw as early as Sunday night, definitely Monday morning. Stuff to watch for this week. Players, with incentives, how much money they can make. I think here's the perfect example. Mike Evans. He needs 5 catches and 85 yards to earn a $3 million bonus. He had 2 catches, 34 yards in the first meeting. That was going against Marshawn Lattimore, who was traded later on in the year to Washington. I went back and looked. He was injured this year. He came back on November 24th against the Giants. His prop was 58.5. He had 68 yards. So the next week against Carolina, his prop was 66.5. He exploded for $1.18. The next week, it went to 73.5 against Las Vegas. Stayed under, had only 69. Then they played at the Chargers. Pretty good defense, right? It was 70.5 for the receiving yards. He killed them. He had 159. So the next week against Dallas, it got bumped up 13.5 yards to 83.5. What did Evans do? He had 69, which was not so nice. It stayed under. Then against Carolina, it was 85.5. He had 97 yards. He's up to 102.5 this week.
What a tax.
Because every person in the world wants to bet it.
Mm-hmm. They're talking about it, too, and they asked Mayfield about it, and they're well aware. Not to mention he can break the record. He would pass Randy Moss for consecutive 1,000-yard seasons and move into second longest all-time. Rice, right? Yeah, Rice has got 14 in a row. He would pass Moss, so you have that, too.
So here's what I want to do.
Yeah.
I mean, you can always play alternate numbers as well, but as of right now, 1:17 p.m. Pacific time, I have not seen a book out here in Las Vegas anyway, maybe some outside of here. I haven't seen one book post his number of receptions. So what I'm looking to do is I want to play 5 catches, 80 yards. Bam, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll parlay those together, same game parlay. Very achievable. They have to win the game, right, to win the division. And then they have, if they lose and Atlanta wins, you all know that, right? So it's going to be important. But guess who's a big part of the game plan for success when Tampa Bay takes the field? It's this guy. He's one of the best receivers in football. So feed him the ball. Saints are terrible. There's no Derek Carr, so it's going to get ugly anyway with Spencer Rattler.
Keep him in the game late. Yep.
Yeah, right.
It's the same thing with Bowers. Bowers needs 9 catches for the record. His prop's 7.5.
7.5.
Yeah. You don't think the Raiders are going to get him the record?
I would think it's just going to be feeding him all day long.
Yeah.
Why not? It's been that way all year long anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to. That's the same game parlay I want to make. I haven't seen it yet. Another one, Cortland Sutton. He currently has 983 yards. He gets a $500,000 bonus if he has 82 in this game. He's hit that number at least 4 times this year. Chiefs going to be resting key starters. But pay attention to this stuff. At one sports book, earlier this morning, his prop was 70.5, and they were juicing you at minus 129. I looked to play alternate numbers. They made 80-plus yards minus 125. So you were only getting a 4-cent discount for 10 additional yards, and you're still paying minus 125.
Yeah, this one's tough because you got to win the game.
Yeah, right.
It's also, you're going on unlike the Saints, you're taking on a good opponent here, too.
I did find 66.5 on him, minus 150. Okay. I thought that was a good number.
I think the best one out there is what Julian Edlow from DraftKings tweeted.
This is strong.
This pays plus 650, and there's a big bonus on both with Kyler Murray. If Kyler Murray gets 50 yards rushing and a touchdown, huge incentives, huge bonus. So that pays plus 650. And you see what Arizona, they were all over the McBride thing. Got to get him a touchdown. Got to get him a touchdown. They did. They kept throwing to him. And here, I think he's well aware. And plus, this is the guy who controls it. Murray can just take off and run anytime he wants.
That's true.
And it's a dead San Francisco team. So that's Murray. This is unbelievable. Plus 650 to get 50 yards rushing and a touchdown.
Yeah.
That's a great find.
Look at the first game against San Francisco. 7 carries, 83 yards, 1 touchdown. And I think your point was the best one there. Like, I don't love the Cortland Sutton prop. I really like the Mike Evans prop, but again, can't bet that yet. So I took it, it was just a decent bet. It was an okay bet on Cortland Sutton overall. But the problem there is, again, Andy Reid is great in this week. And I won't be surprised if the Chiefs keep it close. Like, they don't want Sutton to beat him if they can. So he has to have the quarterback get him the ball. To your point, Murray's dropping back to pass, touching the ball on every offensive play. And if he doesn't like what he's seen, okay, there, he's going to take off and try to skedaddle around the right end or whatever for 10 yards. Mm-hmm. So that's one big reason to like that one. We have a guest coming up from D.C. in 10 minutes. We're going to get into the Commanders and Cowboys. We'll ask him about this. Zach Ertz in Week 18, some of his incentives. Now, these are bombs that we're talking about, right? 9 catches would mean $250,000 more. 90 yards additionally would mean another $250,000. 2 touchdowns would also be a separate $250,000. His yards prop today was 38.5. I looked at ladder props, 70 plus, 4-1, 80 plus, plus 650, 90 plus. To get that incentive was 10-1 earlier today. Right?
This one's tough, though.
That's a huge number.
Yeah, they want to win the game, and you keep them in blowouts, though, too. I don't know if Quinn's going to do that.
I will tell you that a ham sandwich on 9 catches for 90 yards and 2 touchdowns is going to pay a humongous number. I hope we have JP Finley's coming on at the bottom of the hour. When we ask him about Ertz, I hope that he says, absolutely, they're going to do whatever they can to get him those numbers. Then it's scramble to the phone. Let's make those bets right now. But there's a reason why books are, for a lot of these games, slow to release player props at this point. So what do you want to do on Sunday night with a total of 56? Same game parlay. Anything?
Yeah, get really aggressive here. You'd say Gibbs anytime touchdown, Jones anytime touchdown, Jefferson anytime touchdown, Brown anytime touchdown, and the quarterbacks each to throw for 250 and 2 scores. I mean, why not? Look at the total. Right. It's the 3rd highest total since 2021. And I just don't see any stops in this game. And based on how beat up Detroit is, and you know what Campbell's going to do, go, and be aggressive. So this is one where you can just get some monster parlays in here, like the guy hit on Monday night with everyone over here, with all these guys. Right. So Minnesota and Detroit. And this is just it's an all-timer in terms of someone's going to lose, be 14-3, and get the 5 seed. Laughable that this is going to happen. But I took +3. And this is important for your future bets. 1 seed, most wins, all of it, and the fact that Minnesota was 7-1 a couple weeks ago to win the division. That could come in.
Yep.
Think about that.
And we know somebody who has 20 dimes, 2 stacks of high society on the lines to win the division.
Right, but he also did the right thing. He protected himself and grabbed Detroit's
7-1.
Minnesota 7-1.
But here's the thing. I mean, again, how many times are you going to be in this position? You have a 14-win team Regular season's not even done yet. Oh, might not win the division. I dabbled with this today. I didn't even make the bet because I want more books to release numbers. I looked at Addison, Jefferson, Brown, all to score. Both quarterbacks 250 plus. Both quarterbacks over 1.5 touchdowns. I think it was like 14-1.
Okay, you can throw Laporta in there too.
Sure,
if you want to do that. Not bad.
How do the Lions turn this around? How? And by the way, it's short rest. They played on Monday night on the West Coast.
Well, it's some mistakes. That's what Purdy did. Does Darnold get sloppy with the ball? Does Darnold make poor decisions?
Even if he does, I think the Vikings are good for a good 3-4 touchdowns in this game.
I mean, that's just still San Francisco has a lot of talent, but that was embarrassing. Guys are wide open. You couldn't stop Pearsall. 2 missed field goals, 2 interceptions.
Yeah,
you weren't stopping them.
Oh, Purdy had 400 yards passing in that game, right around that number.
Mm-hmm.
The way Darnold's humming right now.
Yep.
I don't. This is going to be Jefferson and Addison, and just name the players.
Take VSiN wherever you go with the VSiN Watch app. Never been easier to stay connected to the action, whether you're on your phone, tablet, even your smart TV. Absolutely free for a limited time with the VSiN Watch app. 24/7 live access to the audio and video streams, replays of your favorite shows, quick access to clips by sport tailored to your interest, and the search feature that lets you find exactly the insights you're looking for. Don't miss out. Get the VSiN Watch app. Stay in the game wherever you are. And I know you were just checking it out when we came in here half an hour ago.
Well, here's the thing, right? If you missed the conversation at 3:30 Eastern Time, 12:30 Pacific Time, basically an hour ago, with Adam Shine and Rich Gannon, this is awesome, both guys have votes for awards in the NFL. And Sam Darnold now at FanDuel is last check, minus 135 to win Comeback Player of the Year. At BetMGM, before the show started, he moved to minus 140 to win Comeback Player of the Year. They talked about that award, the MVP. It was an awesome conversation, and I would highly recommend that you go back and find it on the VSiN Watch app. Again, 3:30 Eastern Time today between Adam Shine and Rich Gannon, talking about Darnold and why they think he can win and why they think Adam's going to vote for him. Sam Darnold's the guy he's voting for Comeback Player of the Year. And he's not going to get rejected. The AP confirmed that this week.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
So that's huge. He was as high as 28-1 a couple weeks back. Up next, JP Finlay covers the Washington Commanders, 106.7 The Fan in D.C. We'll get into the Commanders playing guys against the Cowboys. They want to win the game. Will the team try to get Zach Ertz his incentives?
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
One team, Pauly, playing to win this weekend for sure. The Washington Commanders on the road against the Dallas Cowboys. Commanders laying 6.5 points now in this game. Total between 43.5 and 44.5. Are you involved in this game yet?
I laid 4.
You did? Very good number.
Yeah.
JP Finlay does a great job covering the Commanders for NBC Sports in Washington, D.C. and 106.7 The Fan. Joins the program now on the Progressive Guest Line. JP, good afternoon. Thanks for the time today. How are you?
I'm doing great, fellas. Thanks for having me.
You bet.
You got it.
I personally think this team, and the Eagles are awesome, one of the best teams in football. I think the Commanders would throw the fear of God into the Eagles if that was their first round opponent, but they evidently don't want to play them. They are absolutely playing to win this game to avoid the Eagles this weekend, next weekend in the playoffs. Do you agree with that move?
I don't necessarily think they're throwing everything at this game to avoid the Eagles. I think Dan Quinn is all about a culture of we want to kick ass every week, and to like sit guys is kind of anti that. And I think this is more about the mindset that Washington wants to develop over time. Because, I mean, if you're Quinn and Adam Peters and the folks running this Washington program, you know, the way Jaden's playing, this is, yes, the first playoff stop, but, like, I don't think they think this is the last. And I think this is more of a mindset thing. And, I mean, I think the AFC is really top-heavy, right? I think Baltimore, KC, or Buffalo's coming out of there to go to the Super Bowl. I don't think any of the other teams will get to the Super Bowl out of the AFC. I think the NFC is totally wide open. And in turn, if you get the 6th seed, would it shock either of you guys if the Packers got to the NFC title game?
No.
It wouldn't shock me.
No.
And so I think there's some part of, dude, we want the 6th seed. So in the crazy chance we get to the NFC title game, there's a possibility we host. I really think that's the mindset there.
Not bad.
And, not playing the Eagles isn't the worst option either.
Mm-hmm. I love the quote, we're going to fight like hell to keep the 6th seed. So playing for keeps, playing to win the game, does it also mean guys are going to play the majority of the game?
That, I think, is a more interesting question. I think if this thing gets to 2 scores late third quarter, I could see things changing. You've got some O-linemen that are beat up. Honestly, Jaden is clearly healthy again after that little bit of a slump after the ribs. But you don't necessarily need that young man taking a shot the week before. Mariota was really good in his limited work against the Panthers. I don't know that answer. And it almost sounds contrary to what I just said about building this culture of playing to win all the time. But, as much as these guys want to have this mindset, at the same time, they are smart dudes, driven, and they're using numbers, analytics a lot. So, I think it all depends on game flow. If Dallas performs how they did last week in Philly, and this thing's kind of a runaway, I think you start resting some guys. If it's a tight game down the stretch, and let's be real, they'll be scoreboard watching too. They'll know what's going on in the Tampa game. They'll know what's going on in the Green Bay game. And I think there will be lots of factors. But, especially talking to you guys and the Vegas side of this, that would give me a little bit of pause, not knowing that everybody's going to play the whole way. Or just not knowing they won't, I guess, to lay a 6.5 number,
Yeah. Are you expecting to see Trey Lance? And if so, how much?
Dude, I don't know. If you're gonna play him, why haven't you been playing him?
Yeah.
The stuff I hear from Dallas is that he hasn't been particularly impressive, and I don't know that Jerry Jones wants to publicly admit a mistake in Week 18 when he just doesn't have to. But the flip side is, it depends whose call it is, I would say. Because Mike McCarthy to me, whether it's for another contract in Dallas or potentially another job elsewhere, he wants to win. And Cooper Rush is 2-0 against Washington. The other complicating factor in this is Dallas beat Washington in Washington 6 weeks ago. And the Commanders played poorly in that game, but still, that's going to linger too. So going to Lance, unless he's really ready and has changed the incredible poor play we saw in the preseason, I don't see it unless it's an ownership call. Hey, I want to see what I got in this kid.
Yeah, and I know Dallas was far from great in that blowout loss to Philadelphia last week, but they were playing well for a month before that game. You mentioned the win against the Commanders a few weeks back, and I'm telling you, Mike McCarthy, I think, right? He absolutely wants to win this game, and if he asks Jerry Jones, I'm guessing he's going to say the same thing.
If you dig a little deeper, obviously Dan Quinn, the Commanders coach, was in Dallas last year as the D coordinator. Mm-hmm. Joe Witt, who's now Washington's D coordinator, was in Dallas last year as pass game coordinator at defensive. They brought a bunch of players from Dallas to Washington. There's a lot of kind of not to mention just the historic rivalry. There's a lot of guys in this that probably, most teams that are eliminated from the playoffs going into Week 18 probably aren't going to lock in that much. Let's just be honest. But I feel like this one's a little different for Dallas and for McCarthy specifically. So I just, you look around at some of these spreads this weekend, and the Ravens are laying 3 touchdowns. Some of these things look to be one-sided, and maybe the number makes it interesting, but who's going to win. I think this Dallas-Washington game is much more of a real game than maybe folks expect.
Let's follow the money here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. JP Finlay is our guest. He covers the Commanders in D.C. for NBC Sports and also 106.7 The Fan. Before you came on, we were talking about player incentives for Week 18. These have become exceedingly popular on social media over the last handful of years in terms of betting player props. There's one on the team that you cover that is being kicked around, and that involves Zach Ertz 9 catches would mean that he pockets $250,000 more. 90 yards in this game would also mean $250,000, and the same thing if he scores 2 touchdowns here. Is there any chatter around those incentives for Zach Ertz? Like, would they love to get him those numbers?
Nobody has publicly talked about that, but they love Zach. He's a leader in the locker room. He's been really good for them. I mean, obviously, he caught the game winner last week. Sure. I think if Jaden is aware, and one thing I've learned being in NFL locker rooms for a long time is guys always know about the money, like across the locker room.
Yeah.
And I would not be shocked if those guys are aware. And Cliff Kingsbury, the offensive play caller, the offensive coordinator for Washington, he and Zach go way back. And even think about this. You're kind of making me like this prop now. When DQ got hired, among his first hires was Kingsbury to run the offense. And so that happened, call it like early February, mid-February. Free agency in the NFL obviously doesn't open until mid-March, but they signed Ertz before that because he wasn't on a team at the end of last year. Like, they immediately targeted and signed Zach Ertz to come here. And I think Cliff and the respect and relationship he has. Dude, I just did an interview with the tight ends coach, a guy named David Rye, who I think is going to be a fast riser. Like, I won't be shocked if he's an OC somewhere in a couple of years. I would not be surprised if that is in the play sheet a little. What was it? 3? He needs 3.
Well, he needs to have a big day. It's every one of these would mean $250,000 more. 9 catches, 90 yards, and 2 more touchdowns.
That's kind of hefty numbers, though.
I know. That's the only thing, right?
Yeah. But would it not count if he gets 4 this week and 5 in the playoff game? Would that not get him home?
Oh, is it regular season incentives or would it be playoffs included? I think it might be only regular season.
I don't know. That's interesting. I think that might be too hefty to influence a game. Like, if it was 3 catches, I think they might try to get it.
Yeah,
but
sure.
9 is a lot. I don't know, though. I mean, he had 2 touchdowns last week, so
yep.
I wouldn't count him out.
You can follow JP on X. He's at JP Finlay, NBCS, and hosts a show on 106.7 The Fan in Washington, D.C. That was great, JP. Thanks for the time today.
Take care.
Great job. Appreciate it. Looking for some action? Our friends at First Bet have you covered. Sign up today. Unlock exclusive promotions. Watch and wager on hundreds of exciting horse races every day across the country and around the world. Sign up firstbet.com. Promo code VSIN200. Claim a 20% rebate for your first 60 days up to $200. Head to firstbet.com today.
When Samich is on a little bit later on, 2 hours from now, actually, he's got like 100 bets in the NFL. I'm willing to bet he's going to squeeze in his favorite horse yet remaining on the card today. Don't you think?
Yeah, let's cash one. Let's go.
He hit an exacta
nice.
like 2 weeks ago.
A long time ago, Mitch. Let's go. While you were out, the exacta didn't hit. The other one, the horse is still running.
Is that right? Last week, no good, huh?
Maybe we have to go to Delta Downs, shake things up.
Okay.
Come on.
Win some, lose some is up next. I've been told that you will not believe what happens to pro players when they're away from home and traveling with the team. Pauly with the details next.
Last night? Wow, winning. Or was it a rough one?
Well, they can't all be winners, can they?
Loser! You're a loser! Pauly Howard recaps the night in sports betting in Win Some, Lose Some.
Good one yesterday. Always great to watch the SEC get their ass kicked. First touchdown, Notre Dame. Collins 30-1. Defensive or special teams touchdown, yes, plus 280. Alts on Notre Dame, minus 6.5, 2-1.
I had a horrible beat on that game live on the air.
Yeah.
Absolutely horrible. Gunnar Stockton, I gave this out on the air, had 142 yards passing at halftime. His prop, and they're down big, and Notre Dame was getting the ball, was 242.5. He needs 101 yards in the second half. He had 209 with 10 minutes to play in the third quarter. Oh, I'm screaming on the air when they kept running the football.
Established the run. Dan Lanning, part 2. Kirby Smart got out-coached and he got out everything in that game. Horrible. Freeman pantsed them. Ole Miss 14 up to 18.5.
Did you get involved?
Oh, yeah. First quarter, first half, game.
I bet team total over.
Good move. More on this coming up. OKC, 9.5 up to 12.5. No Harden. They routed the Clippers. This team is so good. And to think, the number one defense in the league, the gap between them and number 2, Cleveland, is as big as Cleveland from 2 to 15. That's the gap. And they haven't had Chet and Hartenstein together at the same time yet.
And by the way, they were getting blasted in the first half.
Yes. Warriors from 2 up to 4. Curry was 8 of 8 from 3. And the Sixers were routed.
And Embiid played in that game.
That's right. Lose some. Celtics T-Wolves under 221 down to 216. No chance. Not even close. Lose some. Jimmy Butler. Jimmy? Well, I don't think I can find joy on the court playing here in Miami anymore. If everywhere you go there's a problem, it's you, Jimmy. Okay? Jimmy, I'll see you later. Come on, Jimmy.
How many times?
I like your game, but come on.
How many times has Halle Berry been divorced?
Yeah, good point.
Oh, okay.
Good point. Here's what you were talking about with your tease. The FBI is warning sports leagues about crime organizations targeting pro athletes following a string of burglaries at the homes of prominent NFL and NBA players. They got Luka. They got Mahomes. They got Burrow. They got Kelsey. They got Mike Conley. While many burglaries occur while homes are unoccupied, some occur while residents are home. Organized theft groups from South America use publicly available info and social media to identify athletes' habits and track their comings and goings. The group uses technology, including Wi-Fi jammers, that allows them to bypass alarms, block wireless internet connections, and disable devices covering security cameras and hide their identities. These preparation tactics enable theft groups to conduct burglaries in a short amount of time, according to the FBI. Athletes are encouraged to report suspicious activity, keep records of valuables and where they're kept, employ extra security, use caution on social media, and also suggest that athletes avoid posting pictures of valuables, their homes, in real-time post when on vacation. They are getting hit nonstop here. Incredible.
It almost sounds to me like there's nothing you can do about it then.
Well, yeah.
Unless you just
jammers and everything, right?
Just hire full-time security around your house with what?
Yeah.
Loaded weapons ready to go?
Mission Impossible. Right out of the movies, right?
Wow.
This stuff. Ray Donovan, all of it. Yeah. A couple of lose some videos, always with the dogs. At Pauly Does Vegas on Instagram. Send them in. We'll put you on. This is, we got a problem here with the doggy door.
No, be patient here.
Yep.
This is a lengthy one because it keeps going, and it's so damn good.
Okay, I'm going in fresh.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, we got 2 guys stuck in it. Oh, no, another guy.
Oh, Paul.
We got 3 puppies stuck in the doggy door.
All trying to get through the doggy door at one time.
Okay.
And they can't get through. They keep going back.
Back it up.
And then, okay, hold on a second here. Get out of my way. I'm going to try to squirt in this time. No. Hey, buddy, can you go through on your own? I'm going to come over the top right now.
Oh, no.
Now I'm going to close your eyes with my paw. Come on. I'm almost in. Get me in. I'm in, damn it.
Got it.
Okay, now here comes another one. Get me in.
Oh, he's in. All right.
Oh, you thought you're done? No, you're not done.
How many puppies are there here?
Well,
4 or 5?
That's 4 right there. And now watch this. Hey, look at this guy.
Where did he come from?
Exactly
over the top. He comes over the top. Now in the middle. There's 5, and he's stuck now. Oh, my God. Incredible. That is great. Good job. Thanks for sending that in. Excellent. Stuck in the doggy door. Go to one here. Hide and seek. Where is he? Can you find him? In the couch? Where's the dog? Got that? Oh, okay. He's under the blanket, but you see, you can't find me, right? I got your tail, though. His tail's sticking out. You're excited. Oh, here I am. There you go. He's hiding under the blanket. Peekaboo, you can't find me, but then I can see that he's wagging the tail. He's so excited. Yeah. He gave himself up.
Oh, he'll get you.
Yep. Bad beats. Blazers plus 7.5. Lakers up 4, 17 seconds. LeBron lays it in. Simmons misses a 3. They foul. Lakers make both. He misses another 3. It falls 8. Come on. Kevin Rogers sent this in. What a perilous trade. South Carolina Upstate was catching 15 against Winthrop. They had the lead with 9 minutes left. Then a 26-0 run happened. Winthrop by 19. You can't be serious.
Oh, that's... And oh, by the way, there's no question bets were on this game.
Yeah. How does that happen?
People will bet everything.
How does that happen? I had this. Piece of garbage Kiffin. Duke's second half team total under 7.5. Duke team total under for the game. 45-14 Ole Miss. Throwing the ball with 1:50 left. 70-yard touchdown, and then gadget play. Duke returns the ensuing kickoff for a touchdown.
Are you surprised that Kiffin was throwing? Is that what you're saying?
I can't believe you would do that.
Oh,
that surprised me.
Not me. That was part of it.
This is the weirdest thing ever. Like, you had no case. You lost 3 games. You had 2 bad losses. Yep. You have no case. Oh, I'm going to show the committee. Show what? You couldn't beat Kentucky.
I know. Like, what's the point of, like, going out there? But you wanted to do something like this. I will say this, Pauly, and I know you're going to disagree. That's fine. I have Ole Miss as the 3rd best team in the country. But you know what? Don't lose 3 games. It's not, we don't go by recruiting rankings. We don't go by power ratings. It goes by, do you deserve to be in? You lost 3 games. I could argue all of them were bad losses.
Sure. Definitely 2 of them. No doubt. Want to be a sharper better this holiday season? Visa has the ultimate gift for you of the sports better in your life. How long are we going with the holiday season? January 3rd. Final week to take advantage of the holiday special. Visa and Pro Access, everything we offer through May 1st. Just $79. Every best bet, every host, every guest. The betting splits from DraftKings and Circa. 24/7 video access to the VSiN expert insights and every betting guide. VSiN.com/subscribe. VSiN.com/subscribe. What do you think semifinals? The Penn State total is way too high. MGM open at 50.5.
I know.
Come on, this is going to be old school football here.
I wish I would have been on that immediately to bet the under, because it obviously dropped, and I would like under 50.5, no question. I have. How do you not have concerns about Notre Dame's offense?
Yeah, Leonard completed 15 passes for 90 yards.
Yep. He almost had more. In fact, he had more rushing yards per attempt than he had passing yards per attempt in the game.
Yeah.
The offense didn't do a damn thing.
Defense is nasty.
The defense, but they had more injuries.
Yep. 13 points per game given up. Yep.
So,
but we'll see if they can turn it over and shut Aller down, and I think they'll stop the run. So
it's 47 still.
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's going to be just like the Georgia game.
I would think so.
Run, field position, just no mistakes. Again, that was a 10-7 game last. Should have been 10-7.
Yeah, I know.
The stupid fumble, Kirby Smart losing his mind. Got to be aggressive. What are you doing? What are you talking about, man? Got to be aggressive. Got a backup quarterback. You're not moving the ball. It's 6-3. Take a knee and go to halftime, and then the ensuing kickoff. Start the second half rather. So. Yeah, that figures this. I can't believe they opened 50.5. And plus, it's a short turnaround.
Did you see that the SEC reached out to the committee and they said, we would prefer if you flip games this week?
A good job by them. They were denied.
I respect that.
I do respect it. They were
denied. The committee said, no, we're not going to change it around. How could you change it right now? Again, with travel plans, fans coming in, whatever. But again, that's another small break, I would say, at least a tiny break for Penn State.
Couple of people reaching out. Yeah, you're right. Couple people reaching out with Notre Dame futures. I said take a little plus 115 on Ohio State.
I grabbed
to win it all.
Yeah, I'm doing the rollover parlay like I talked about with Ohio State, and I grabbed plus 115 on Ohio State as well.
Yeah, if you lose your bet, but then it means right, because then you're either playing them
right,
or you get the dream scenario where you're playing Texas in the championship and the lines. I don't know what's that. Pick 'em. I don't know. It's right in that wheelhouse though. If it's Notre Dame, Texas for all the marbles.
Yeah. I kind of like Penn State.
Really?
Kind of like them. A little bit.
Great job. Great job by Freeman.
Oh, tremendous job.
Great game, too. It's going to get a huge number.
And by the way, to do what they did to get Georgia to come off sides was absolutely brilliant. Right? Are they going to punt? No, here comes the offense again. They got him off sides, and that was a huge play. And those 2 final drives by Notre Dame, just to take time off the clock, it was awesome what they did. So I'm happy with myself, too, because I never did get off the under. I said on the air I was going to. That was one of my New Year's resolutions.
Right. Make a bet, live with it.
Can't watch. If I watch games, I always want to get off of it. My original bet. Don't do that, Mitch. It's big boy time here.
Good job. Will the SEC ever win another title? Great. This is great.
Yeah. Do SEC fans now
claim Texas? I doubt it.
Through and through?
How are you going to claim Texas?
Yeah. It has been pure domination in this series going back a long time, but that could change this weekend. We shall discuss next here on VSiN.